Hi there and welcome to Chalk Session. I am your host, Brian Griffiths. This is the show here at the Duck Pen where we analyze and review and critique political campaign ads. So join us on this week's show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and let's take a look at this week's ad. This week on Chalk Session, we are going to talk about Possible. It's the first ad from the Mike Rosenbaum for Governor campaign. So why don't we go ahead and get started? It's been on the air for a couple weeks now. You probably haven't seen it. Most people haven't, but let's go ahead and take a look at this ad. Mike Rosenbaum for Maryland, Possible.
I'm Mike Rosenbaum. I'm running for governor because talented people across Maryland are systematically locked out of opportunity because of their race, class, or gender.
This is quite the spot to start with, talking about race, class, and gender. You start with a generic white guy in glasses. Mike Rosenbaum doesn't look a lot different than I do. A generic white guy in glasses sitting on a park bench. The park bench, what does it have to do with racial equality, job creation? I have absolutely no idea. But a boring white guy sitting on a park bench is where we start. And the first thing out of the gate he wants to talk about is racial equity. And the first person we see there is a white guy. I don't, it's a very, very bizarre way to start this ad, but let's keep going.
But I know that can change. I started a...
What was that text about? We can change that. We got yellow text and superimposed things and this and that and the other thing. This is a visual mess.
Company focused on equity, hiring thousands of Marylanders to build careers in emerging industries.
More primarily white people throughout this ad.
And as governor...
Oh, we're back to the generic white guy. Oh, look, Mike Rosenbaum talking to more white people.
My jobs plan will create 250,000 careers and raise wages by thousands of dollars.
Oh, what is with the jumping text here? Wow.
Learn more at MikeRosenbaum.com.
I have never been less inspired to visit a website than I have been to go to MikeRosenbaum.com right now. Whew, what a mess this thing is. Why don't we go ahead and we'll take a quick break and I'll come back with the positives and the negatives of this ad from Mike Rosenbaum. So let's take a look at the positives and the negatives for this ad, Possible, from the Mike Rosenbaum for Governor campaign. Well, I got bad news, folks. There isn't a whole lot of positives to talk about here, but I will say the background music that they chose was quite good. It was a good song that talked about the importance of jobs and the importance of equity in Rosenbaum's campaign, in his mind, how important of an issue it was. So I can tell you that the music was a great selection by them. Unfortunately for Rosenbaum, it's all downhill from there. You know, let's first start with the graphics. I mean, the graphics were just all over the place. It's an assault on the senses where you've got people flying in from still shots, and then you've got this bright yellow graphic that's superimposed over a video graphic, and it is just the hot mess express of graphics. I mean, it is quite a trip. The second problem with the ad is Rosenbaum himself. We have a generic white guy sitting on a generic park bench which has no context to the rest of the ad. Usually when you see ads like this, people are walking through a workplace, they're walking through a factory, they're walking through a business district, something that resembles the topic that they are talking about. Instead, you've just got Rosenbaum just sitting there looking like he's getting ready to feed the pigeons or something, and a camera happened to walk by and he wanted to talk about equity. It is illogical and makes absolutely no sense why they would go with this. The third thing is the background shots. You know, we have the pictures of Rosenbaum, the video footage of Rosenbaum talking to people, but all those people, most of them are just white guys. It makes no sense contextually for a white guy. You've already started. If you're a Democrat like Rosenbaum and you're running for governor and you're a generic white guy nobody has heard of, and your first campaign spot out of the chute is talking about equity and job creation and equality for all, you bet your ass you better be talking to people of color and not just looking like another generic white guy who was trying to pander to the African-American vote in a primary election. And that's what this looks like from Rosenbaum. It looks like just one giant pander festival after another. I'm not sure who is working on Rosenbaum's campaign creating these spots, but my goodness, Rosenbaum really should get his money back. This is honestly probably the worst introductory spot I have seen that has run on television in a statewide campaign in Maryland in a long, long time. I give this ad a grade of F-. That's all the time we have on this episode of Chalk Session. Again, be sure to follow us on social media. And if you have an ad that you want us to analyze in one of these Chalk Session videos, please feel free to email us at theduckpin@gmail.com. For all of us here at The Duck Pin, thanks, and we'll see you next time.